were doctors singing about car crashes, that's a wrap on us.
Ellen, on so many levels, I've got so many things I want to talk to you about, but please may we start with slushies. Is this story true?
It's your show. You get to start wherever you want.
Okay, thank you. Is this true about you and the slushies?
It is true.
Okay, for people who don't know the story, share. Come on, overshare.
Well, so when I was a teenager, I guess you would say, and looking to earn money to buy my first car, I had an opportunity to sell what we call slush outside the Fenway Park, which is where they play American baseball in Boston. And then I had special slush, which I added vodka to, and I could charge much more money for that. And that was much more popular, and I had a line down the block. And
did everybody wonder why they were coming to your slushy cart as opposed to the other ones?
No, everybody seems to be in on it. Everybody was in on it, and everybody knows what's going on. It was very lucrative.
I just love that you started with that. So many things. I do want to start with Good American Family. So I watched it with my elder daughter, and we became so invested, it blew our minds.
Yeah, it was a very popular docuseries in the States. So that's what everybody saw first in the States. And then it was the story was fascinating to people and captivated people. Everyone had varying opinions about who was in the wrong or who did what or who to believe. And so that's what's fascinating about this story is everybody watches it and comes away with something different. And what does that say about us? Why do we hold the beliefs we hold? Why do we see people the way we see them? This person as bad or this person as good? And so that's the angle that we're taking on our show. It's the framework for a really interesting study in human behavior and parenting, what that looks like when you decide to take on being a parent, and how much can you handle, and what are your expectations of what the children will be, and if they don't meet your expectations, how do you respond to that? And so it asks a lot of questions of human beings and how we behave.
You do a lot of that, though. You make us think. So obviously Grey's Anatomy, and this show, and I've seen you talking, and I've watched you doing interviews, and I've read so much that you want people to think and rethink, and that's great. What a wonderful thing. Were you always like that?
Being on Grey's for so long and having touched so many people with that show has made me acutely aware of the power of television. And I think that that's a useful tool if we can, sort of use TV to make people think. We certainly all could use that.
I totally
In the
agree.
United States, we definitely could use it.
I love the idea that it's about making people think. And Grey's has did that for years. I know people who are so invested, but so invested. And by the way, happy anniversary.
Thank you so much.
So many years, and I love that you're still smiling about it. That's such a lovely thing. But people are so invested. When people go down the street, please tell me, how many times do people call you Meredith, or do they know you as, because you've been in our lives for 20 years now?
Sure.
What do they say?
To be honest, I'm so grateful for the show and so grateful for the fans, and I love them. But to be honest, when people call me Meredith, I do get a little bit annoyed.
Yes, I'm not surprised because you're Ellen.
Yeah, so I do get a little annoyed with that. I love that you love the show, but just, call me by my right name. And everybody's so nice, and they just say, I love you so much, and so how really can I be upset at that?
Can we just talk about the musical one?
It's so funny because I thought that surely was the end of us. I thought, we're doctors singing about car crashes? That's a wrap on us. But
I'm so pleased it wasn't.
Shows you how much I know.
Let's just talk about, if we can, the fabulousness of parity and what you've done, putting your head above the parapet and saying, come on. It's just incredible what you've done. And I thank you on behalf of all women out there, really.
Thank you. Well, I think people have done it for me. So I don't know that I would have the courage to do it for other people if women that were also in positions of power had done it for me. Shonda Rhimes did it for me. So we learn by doing, and which is, sort of ties back to some of our themes on Good American Family. It's like, we parent the way we were parented, or we try not to parent the way we were parented. And ultimately, we sort of end up making the same mistakes in trying not to make the same mistakes. So, anyway, thank you for saying that. But I feel like women have been very generous with me. And so I have to pay that forward. I think women are incredibly strong and smart and resilient, and we can only push the boulder up the hill when we move together, and we can all be as loud as we can be together. It takes a lot of strength to push that boulder up the hill.